Welcome back to The Morning Blend. The National Institute on Alcohol Abuse has very clear guidelines about the difference between social or low risk drinking and drinking that's a problem or a sign of alcoholism. Today we are going to talk about those differences and introduce you to a crisis call center that can help. John Hyatt is the CEO and president of Impact 211. It's a community resource for people struggling with substance abuse and many other problems such as abuse in the home, homelessness, job loss, and many other things. Great to see you.
Thank you for having me again.
We love partnering with Impact 211 and having you on the show because all the services you provide are free, right?
Right, free 24 hours a day. Community resource specialist, substance abuse experts that can help you identify the severity of the problem, get you connected to resources, and on a path toward stability.
Today we're going to talk about alcoholism and a very special event that you have coming up. But I'm always impressed and sort of shocked by the variety and the wide range of issues that you help address and help provide guidance and resources.
Yeah, so certainly mental health, substance abuse, homelessness, food insecurity, but everything in between. So school supplies, infant formula, diapers, kids with special needs, adult parents trying to live independently in the community, everything family, health, and social service.
And it also points to the fact, I guess, that there are many reasons why we're in crisis, and that's where Impact 211 comes in.
Correct.
Let's talk about alcoholism. So it has been described as a disease. A lot of people hear things like problem drinking, binge drinking, recreational, social. There are all these different words.
Right.
How do you know then when that becomes a problem and something that's a sign of an illness or something that really needs to be treated?
Right, and it's even more complicated in Wisconsin because we have this rich history of alcohol use and overuse. And so we talk about risky drinking. So there are people that drink in a way that doesn't create any risk. And then there are people that drink in such a way. So for example, if you're a guy and you drink 2 every day, more than 5 in one sitting or more than 14 in a week, doesn't mean you're an alcoholic, but you're creating additional risk for yourself. So things like employment issues, relationship issues, accidents, injuries. For example, 69% of drownings are alcohol related.
Really?
Really.
16, almost 70%.
Almost 70%. So that little voice you have in your head that says, that's not a good idea, it gets kind of quiet, and people end up doing things that they ordinarily wouldn't. And so we have all of that a part of our culture in Milwaukee and in Wisconsin, and so it's harder for people to see when it starts to cross the line. Oh, and by the way, if you're a woman, it's half that.
Wow, so that's,
right?
you said 2 a day for men, so that'd be 1 a day for women.
1 a day every day.
7 a week, and not more than probably
3 a day.
3 a day.
Yeah.
That's it's a much lower number.
Right, and again, that creates risk. When do you know you're starting to cross over into addiction? When, for example, you're building a tolerance, you need to drink more in order to start to feel the effect, when you're having cravings, when you've tried to cut back or stop and you can't, and then finally when you're starting to have withdrawal symptoms like sweating, nausea, shaking, and you're drinking to alleviate those symptoms.
You had mentioned some of the risk factors, and one of the things you said was relationships, which I think is really important because that's the fundamental part of our lives that creates happiness, I think, for us. When there's alcoholism or drinking problem, what's the toll on loved ones?
A tremendous toll, right? I mean, so we've talked before about heroin and prescription painkillers and the immediacy of that. With alcoholism, it tends to be a little more protracted, and so it's gradual and there's a buildup. But what happens is you have financial problems or you have employment problems, and you say things that you wouldn't ordinarily say that can be hurtful, and so there can be violence in those kinds of things. And when you're a loved one, it's hard to understand, right? This alcohol is causing us problems or you problems. Why don't you just stop or cut down and quit? And so it's hard to understand, and then you don't know what to do. And so you try and love the person more, and that doesn't help. And then you try and take a firm stand, and that doesn't seem to help. And so you're so incredibly emotionally invested in this person, and you kind of don't know what to do, the things you've tried. And then, you know, that can lead to you being angry, to you sort of pulling away from the relationship. And so it's just very painful. And because of a lack of understanding of when it is a disease and when it is an illness, what does that mean? And what should I do to be helpful, or what shouldn't I do to be harmful? And so
And I know that's where your experts can help. You've got this wonderful event coming up. It's called Higher Ground, a Love Story. This event is to raise money for the wonderful services that you provide,
Correct.
including the addiction, substance abuse counselors that you mentioned. This is coming up in September. I'm excited to be there and be part of it again this year. I think
Thank
it's
you.
incredible the work that you do. Talk about a family who's going to be the subject matter of the event, what people are going to learn and hear about their story.
Right. So he's a Grammy Award-winning songwriter, right? And most people don't know the people behind the songs. Grew up here in Milwaukee, went to Nashville, got married, had a family, and then a member of the family, his son, had alcoholism. And so the struggle and the toll on the family, trying to take care of your son, not knowing how to help, not knowing from day to day or from moment to moment if things will be okay. And so it's the struggle with the father and the son, with the wife and the father, and it's just really it's the love story of, and how do we make it through this and come out on the other side?
And care for someone with this problem. I think it's wonderful when people share personal stories like that. I'm excited about this event. It's happening Thursday, September 19th. Tickets still available?
Tickets are still available.
Tickets still available. It's called Higher Ground, a Love Story. Get your ticket now because it's going to be a great event. Support Impact 211, the wonderful free 24/7 services they provide. It's from 5:30 to 7:30 at the Wisconsin Club. You can call 414-302-6624 for tickets or go to impactinc.org. Now, if you need the Crisis Call Center, not for tickets to the event, but for the Crisis Call Center and all the wonderful sources and resources and information they provide, you can call Impact 211 any time of day. It's 211, a great resource for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great to see you, and I'll see you
Likewise.
soon. I'll see you
Okay.
next month.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.